Tuning in. We're now entering a special sponsored segment. We call it the Big Story First Edition, and it's sponsored by a segment sponsored by the Jamaica Labour Party, doing more for Jamaica. And this morning we do have the pleasure of speaking with Kamina Johnson-Smith. She herself is the chair of the JLP Manifesto Committee, and we're focusing on real issues here, looking at the next chapter and making sure that we are convinced by what she says that the nation is ready. So we say good morning and welcome, Mrs. Kamina Johnson-Smith. How are you doing today?
Morning, Richard B, and morning to your listeners. I'm well, thank you. I hope you are too. You sound good.
I am well, thank you, and thank you for that compliment. Appreciate it, Kamina. Now, before I get into the meat of the matter, the Prime Minister posted something, I believe, last night, and it seems he was in conversation with yourself and Dana Morris Dixon, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, before the debate started, I suspect. And if you will, what were the last words that you uttered to him before he went on that stage?
The last words I said to him was 1 p.m. That's the time. Those are literally the last words I said to him before we left him to go on stage.
Okay. And quickly, your thoughts on his performance last night?
My Prime Minister is someone in whom I have ultimate faith and belief at all times. He's under heavy personal attack, and we know that is because clearly the opposition has no answer to our plans and achievements or record over the past 9 years, and therefore they have seen their path to power as personal attacks. And it always distresses me greatly to see that. But Prime Minister had the ability to clarify certain things last night and to state the case clearly to the Jamaican people that we are the better choice. He is prepared to lead. He has been leading, and we have a better future for Jamaica and all Jamaicans if they once again trust us with their vote. I think he did that effectively. His closing was strong, and the message was backed by reality. And I therefore really hope that persons who are deciding what to do will, reflect strongly on the Prime Minister's statements and vote for the Jamaica Labour Party once more. All right.
You have been described as a voice of reason, a force in foreign affairs, and now you are, in fact, leading the charge as far as what's next for Jamaica is concerned. Why should Jamaicans listening to us right now, here at home and in the Jamaican diaspora, vote for the JLP again in 2025? And what is at stake, if you will, Kamina?
The future is at stake, Richie B. The future is at stake. And the choice, as Prime Minister said last night, is between promises, some of them wild and fanciful. A lot of them sound good. That is, they sound good. But they are, in totality, where they're even possible, the way they are being put forward, is that they're going to wreck the economy again. They're going to put us right back in the IMF and the high debt. All of the things that we inherited and fixed, the things that people thought could not be fixed. Remember in 2016 when we took office, it was high unemployment, high debt to GDP, high poverty. High crime. Let's not forget that. And we've brought murders down by 43%. We've brought poverty down to historic lows. Unemployment, which was in double digits and intractable for so long, is now historically low at 3.3%. And even the change in measurement that took place in 2024, that has not changed the reality that more persons have been brought into the labor force. The measurement has not taken it any lower than it would have been. In fact, it spiked a little before it went down again because it was already at historic lows. So there are Jamaica Labour Party government has fixed the intractable problems that none of us, whether in the diaspora or those who still live here, thought reasonably could be fixed within our lifetimes. We have fixed them, and we've started to do more. And we've done all of that while levying no new taxes on the backs of Jamaica people. This has not been magic. It has been really hard work to balance things like increasing pass, creating a new social pension for persons over 75 who didn't get a pension before. We've started repairing all the health centers. We've done 138, 150 police stations. They used to work in these dilapidated, broken down surroundings. How do you have pride in your career when every day you go to work, the place around you is falling apart? We're fixing that. We have fixed a lot of that, built 9 new ones and more under construction. We have invested in technology and training that has empowered them to deliver the significant reductions across all factors of serious crime, including murder, because we were moving positively on serious crime before we got murder to move. Mm-hmm. And that has been 3 years in the downward trend, now at 43%. And we really give thanks for our men and women of the security forces. Another thing that we've done is increase the number.
Yes.
Who I remember when I was in G2K and we used to speak about the fact that 8,000 police men and women cannot police the whole of Jamaica. And let it move. We're finally at 14,000, which is the recommended establishment. And Dr. Chang has said that in the next term that we will increase more, because what this helps is their ability to respond, their ability to investigate, their ability to follow up on all the matters that come to you and to treat with the public in a respectful manner, because the ratio is better. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot that we've been doing to lay the foundation while doing our best to keep the value of money as best as possible by no new taxes and by putting money back in people's pockets with the largest income tax threshold ever and the first income tax credit where people got back $20,000 if you were working on PAYE. Okay. So we've really been doing a lot and laying the foundation for the next chapter.
You have highlighted a lot of achievements that you're obviously very proud of. But in addition to that, your manifesto speaks to another whole series of achievements that you hope to undertake in the new term should you be put back into power.
Yes.
What would you say are some of the things that the voters you're expecting that they would get excited about that's enclosed or entailed in the manifesto?
You know, there's something for everyone, and it's why in the manifesto we actually have a section that says choose what works for you, and we have some suggested groupings that, you know, if you're a future homeowner, you might want to look at the things about the promise to property with 25,000 land titles per year, regularizing some of our informal settlements, but not with the irresponsibility of the plan offered by the other side. More houses, where we have about 50,000 that are in different stages as between design, procurement, and construction now. That number, funnily enough, replicates the PNP's promise of 50,000. But we have said, because we know we have gone through a lot of the teething pains, we've been fixing the problems, we know them, and therefore we have added the commitment to 60,000 more houses in a new term. And this will also include 5,000 more under the social housing program, which deals with our most vulnerable people. And then there's a housing roof repair and room completion assistance program. You know, when you drive through Jamaica and you see these houses where families have started, but the roof is is not weatherproof. Mm-hmm. And there's a room, you know, with grass growing in it now, half completed. We're going to help them complete that, giving pride, uplifting communities, and uplifting value in communities, unlocking value in communities as well. We have a national childcare task force that's going to be unleashed to help us with assessing childcare across the nation, what's needed for mothers and fathers to be comfortable about the care that their youngest children are getting when they go out to work. We're starting with 28 brain builder centers that take note of the fact that 0 to 3 are the most critical years in formation in a child's life, and we want to ensure that we're providing more stimulative environments, better trained personnel in daycares and in early childhood to make sure that we're getting a more productive learner entering the primary school system. I know when you speak to Dana, you'll speak more about education, so I won't speak about that. But our young people, we hear the other side talking about our First in Family Scholarship. We don't believe we believe that's sort of some medieval type of, the firstborn must go forward. But what we want is all children to have an opportunity to go forward, and that's why we're doing further reforms to the Student Loan Bureau. So not only a 14-month moratorium when you've finished studies that you don't have to start payment before, and we are confident that in this economy you will start to work long before that, but we're giving you 14 months. Plus, we've brought down interest rates, and we have a GPA-based interest rate that if you maintain a 2.5 minimum GPA, you will get 2 percentage points down off your interest rate. Mm-hmm. On top of that, we're now going to ensure in another term that your student loan can cover tuition and accommodation, laptop, and books and food. That's what the young people say they really need, because now that we have removed the guarantors, more people are able to access, but they're still having difficulties with living expenses. So we're fixing that for them, and for the health of the fund, and for our young people who maybe fell into bad luck, we're doing a debt reset, which allows for persons to have their penalties waived and the insurance waived, and 50% of the interest rates if they come back and start to pay. So we're wanting to encourage them to come back, because, if you don't pay into the fund, then people cannot get out of the fund. And we want the student loan to remain healthy.
We know
350,000 people receive water for the first time under this administration. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a Spark Water chapter where 900,000 people will get maybe not water for the first time, because some of them may have, but they may have unreliable water and unpredictable water supply. We are fixing that with new programs, better roads. There's going to be Spark 2, plus we're going to have a national national sidewalk and road crossing program that's going to help with our crossing and road and sidewalks for persons with disabilities, the elderly, and of course safety for our children. So these are just some of the things that will come.
And as the saying goes, it takes cash to care. So many people may be wondering, okay, we like what we're hearing, but how do we know that the Jamaica Labour Party can in fact deliver on these new promises that you've outlined?
Because we have been delivering. I keep making the point that when we speak about our achievements, it's not to boast. It's really holding ourselves accountable to people, to the Jamaican public, to the voting public, and saying, listen, we don't just talk about these things. Remember when we couldn't even get a 5% move down in murders? The former Minister of National Security, he literally said that, it's just going to require divine intervention. But the Lord said, faith without works, So we have put in the work. We've invested in we have had to take tough decisions, It's not been easy. So we're looking at a budget and saying, how are we going to get this done? We can strategically hold off on this, do this later, while we, of course, invest heavily in our security forces, because when we bring down the cost of security, it unleashes the young people in society. When you crush the gangs, it allows the community to thrive. It allows small business to thrive. It allows your people to go to school and your people to go to work. And that is what has been happening in our communities. It allows the people to go in and give social services, uplift, provide identification, all of the things we've been doing. And some of what we're doing won't require cost. It requires efficiency, which is why we'll have a new task force. Prime Minister in the latter days appointed Ambassador Audrey Marks, who returned to us as a minister responsible for efficiency and innovation. And we're going to build out that concept further to have a task force with stakeholders and a portal for public suggestions on things that need to be fixed to make us more efficient and make things happen more quickly. That's going to help us to propel forward at a pace never seen before. But we are the ones to trust to do it because we are the ones that have been able to do things that have been the world looks on us in Richie B and says, how did you do this? How did you increase minimum wage? How did you keep all your public sector worker jobs during COVID? How did you increase your social support without adding new taxes? It has been really hard work. All of us have a whole heap of new gray hair that we never had before, but we have been able to do it. And the truth is, when you look at the PNP's record, when you look at the 2000s, you look at 1990s, you look at the 1970s, even where you saw social benefits in the 70s, you had economic decline. We were in power in the 80s and the economy started to do better, maybe not enough on the social side, but strong growth, which was then discontinued because in the 90s, what happened is the largest when the world was thriving. The growth was anemic and nothing moved. They implemented a high interest rate, policy which resulted in the largest financial disaster that Jamaica has ever faced. And we just this year is the first year that we have returned to a debt to GDP that existed before that. So we have just returned debt to GDP pre-FinSAC. And people don't know, people don't remember taking out a loan that at 10% and having it go to 130%. That was under the PNP. We were the ones who said, listen, you can do this differently. You can do low interest rates. And they said, no, it couldn't be done. We have done it. They said you couldn't do 1.5. We figured out how to do it. They now are throwing a Hail Mary and telling the people of Jamaica that they can do 3.5, but they can't. The truth is they don't understand how to manage an economy. The same thinking that had them say that we must give away the $40 billion in reserves instead of managing it strategically, investing here, working on this, putting some at this, putting some at that, some roads, some water, unleashing different aspects of the economy. Let's take off the fees at heart so that all our young people can go and get training and certified and join the labor force.
Yes.
Things like that make a difference.
Okay.
We are different managers, we're different leaders, and we really hope that the people of Jamaica will look at the performance and vote on performance.
Now, I want to get a question in, Kamina, on behalf of especially the large number of listeners that we have in the Jamaican diaspora, and also for Jamaicans at home as well. Many of those in the diaspora are thinking of maybe investing or even returning home, and then Jamaicans at home are seeking a better life. In closing, what are your promises to them, so to speak?
To the diaspora, we're going to continue to work on making it efficient for you to be able to come home and to invest here. Now is the time. Now is the time. It is a level playing field. There are you know Jamaica better than anywhere else. You know where land is being unlocked. We have highways that are being developed. This is going to include more housing developments, more places that you can buy your second home to have Airbnb or come home to have a better life. We have a new association of black expatriates and returning Jamaicans who are really they can't believe that everyone just hasn't moved back en masse already, because the opportunities that they are unlocking here, helping people to navigate, which is one of the things that we're doing, just building inefficiencies, building efficiencies, making sure that it is easier to do business here, which I know has always been a complaint of our diaspora. You know that you have a better experience at customs now. You can send a shipment from your home and have it and track it all the way to your family member here without anyone ever having had to go to customs, because we have systems like that now. You can track costs better, all of these things. And you know, the ability to apply for your passport online, your ability to apply for your driver's license online, to pay your taxes online. These are things that we've been doing to make sure that everyone can do business easier from wherever you are. And we're going to do it with titling now. We're moving to digital titles and the land titling, which will also help with families that maybe left family land here that they haven't regularized, but that they still live on, or they have some family members that still live on it. We have a new systematic program We've partnered with the Koreans, that's helping with the technology, and we are going to propel Jamaica forward into a new level of land values and land regularization. Everyone to own their own secure piece of the rock. We want our diaspora to come home and be a part of that. The investments in special economic zones and in our creatives, we're even going to have a special economic zones for creatives, because we recognize that for the studio engineer to import his equipment, for the film creator, editor, the directors to import their equipment, etc., that they need a mechanism that's going to help them to be able to unlock their capacity, their creative capacity with technology. We're going to have 100 creative villages across the island, again, transforming our community centers that have been underutilized. So using infrastructure in place and repurposing it strategically. Lots of the tourism for all our calendar. You can decide if you're going to come as a tourist, or you're going to come and be part of the creative and cultural economy, the gastronomic economy that's going to unlock in each parish retention of more of the tourism dollar by having monthly events in each parish that bring people to Jamaica in different ways with more opportunities for communities. Spruce up Jamaica 2.0. We're going to beautify Jamaica with Puya and Bogart villas. I mean, Jamaica is going to be all that you know that she can be, because we're going to be unlocking with infrastructure in the rural areas, making sure that farmers have more irrigation. So if you're going into organics, you want to go into agribusiness, we're doing the one agro park per parish, 25% of that reserved for young people, women, and persons with disabilities. The first aquaculture agro park as well, which, I mean, these things help with really opening up lines of business, because now we're doing prawns again, we're doing oysters, we're doing scallops, we're doing things that have good high-level market value. So it's not, so in addition to our high-value ginger or high-value turmeric, we're adding these elements here that we've studied the market, look at where we can export to, look at where agribusiness will do well. Our scotchy, I know we have such an appetite for Jamaican spices now. Right. Brand Jamaica has grown even more.
Absolutely.
So there's more opportunity for people to come home and invest, to do business overseas as well.
In the interest of time, I'm going to ask you just one more question and allow you maybe 30 seconds to answer. A lot of campaigning has been taking place, Kamina Johnson-Smith. We're days away from the general election. What is the mood in the camp right now? Is it confidence or concern?
Oh, mood is highly positive. The Blue Dot polls came out and they show what we have been feeling on the ground. I don't know if you look online at the reception that the Prime Minister has been getting, and not in meetings, just going through the communities. So we always say that you can't tell a crowd from meeting, because sometimes people just love the hype. But the reception that he gets is incredible. Even just yesterday, I went to the pharmacy and I had 2 hours for myself. I went to supermarket, pharmacy, and hardware to fix a lot that was going to drop out of the gate. To get some personal items, salt and black pepper. Richie B, if you can't believe, my house was out of salt and black pepper. This is because we've just been out so much out of the house. And while I was there, the reception from people generally, who people said, just make sure you guys win again, because we like what's happening. Make sure you guys win again constantly is the refrain.
So it's definitely confidence.
Sorry, what's that?
It's definitely confidence then.
It is a high level of confidence, never taking anything for granted, and always respecting the right of the voter to take a choice. We're seeing a lot of first-time voters who are saying they are giving their vote to the Jamaica Labour Party because they like what has been happening. They see it. The narrative that, people now feel the prosperity. We know we haven't reached everyone yet, because we've been having to fix fundamental things, balance the economy, make sure we're staying stable, that no new taxes, we build that stability in, and we've been trying to do as much as possible on top of that. And now is the time to unleash. But it has to still be unleashed strategically. It can't be ham-fisted with some unrealistic offer of, something that requires 8 to 10% growth in 8 months. It cannot be done. What will you borrow our tax in order to say that you have this offer?
Kamina,
it's frightening. It's frightening.
Unfortunately,
so
we're
when
out
you
of
think
time.
of all the
Yes.
work that has gone in to bring us to where we are, so we hope that we trust in the wise Jamaican people, the wisdom of the Jamaican people, and know that they will look at performance, know they have never seen that performance before, and therefore put their vote for the Jamaica Labour Party on September 3rd.
Kamina Johnson-Smith, great talking with you today. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time, and thank you, listeners, as well. All the very best to you.
To you too. Much